Hey everyone, Justin here on the Sir Franchises channel, back for episode 3 of our Billy Beane NHL 24 Oakland Athletics Expansion Franchise mode. Hope everybody's doing okay. Thanks for coming back and checking out another video here. If you've been liking what you've been seeing so far and you haven't already, please subscribe if you want to see more of this content. It'll really help out just getting things started here. I'm at 5 whole subscribers right now. 5. That's huge. I'm just kidding. But hey, maybe we can get to 10 with this video. That would be pretty awesome. So again, if you're liking this, please drop a like, leave a comment, letting me know what you're thinking of this so far and anything else you'd like to see. And feel free to give a subscription too, please. I do want to thank and address the folks who left a couple of comments on these previous 2 videos that I've done so far. One of them was about wanting to see this play out with the salary cap off, and I think that's something I'm going to want to do in the future. Once I start a franchise mode, I like to leave everything as I started it and continue to the end with that. But I will show you something interesting. So if you look at the contracts, if you look at the bottom left, that projected spent, and then also that column over to the right from there, the team cap hit. Our numbers are pretty low compared to the salary cap. The salary cap's $83.5 million. Our projected spent is about $64.4 million. Our team cap hit is about $64.6. And if you look at pretty much every other team in the league, save for a few, everyone else, their projected spend and cap hit is like pretty much right at the salary cap. Ottawa's projected spend $82.9 million. Their team cap hit $78 million. Same for Philly, $81.9 million projected spent, cap hit about $77.6. I'm pretty sure every team except for a couple has projected spend and cap hits pretty close. Pretty close to the cap. So there is a difference in how much I'm spending versus how much these other teams are spending. I think Arizona is the other team that's pretty much kind of like us. Arizona, I think, is even lower than us in terms of their projected spend and their cap hit. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out between us and Arizona. Actually, let's check that out now. It's still pretty early in the season. We're only 20 games in, but I'm interested to see. We are icing a pretty cheap team, and Arizona is as well. We are at the top of the Pacific Division, and Arizona's not in this division. LOL. They're in the Central Division. Thanks to Seattle. Well, Seattle and Vegas bumped them. But Arizona is they're 7th in the Central Division with a slightly cheaper team than ours is. I don't think that's a function of Arizona in this game not wanting to spend more. I think that's just the roster that they kind of start out with. I'd be willing to bet that once we get into next season and we go through another free agency cycle, that Arizona's spending will be up near the salary cap. I'll take a look at that when we get into next season, see if Arizona gets bumped up. But yeah, it would be... So every team is spending somewhere in the range of like $15 to $20 million more than us. So it'll be interesting to see if even with just spending that much less than every other team, if we are still able to ice a competitive team. It seems like we are so far. But yeah, it would be cool in another franchise mode to leave the salary cap off and explore, okay, if these teams are able to spend without limits and we still try to keep ourselves to the cheapest contracts possible, how does that look? What's the spending gap between us and other teams? Does that hinder us from being competitive? I think that's something I'll do in another version of this down the line. And then in terms of turning Fog of War off, I do see a lot of people who do franchise modes online. It seems like they turn Fog of War off too. I kind of like the idea of Fog of War, actually. I feel like I mean, it could be kind of flawed in a way, right? Because if you think about it, there's a lot of access to watching other teams play. There's a lot of access to looking at everyone's stats. So I don't know how realistic Fog of War is, but then again, Fog of War is kind of realistic in the sense that you don't always certainly know what you're going to get when you acquire a player. The scouting reports could say one thing, and the stats could say one thing in terms of what a player's quote-unquote overall might be in real life and in the game. But then you acquire that player, and there's something about that player you didn't know. There's something about how that player interacts with your team environment that you didn't account for or didn't know ahead of time. So I kind of like leaving Fog of War on, actually. I know it helps with decision making in this game to leave it off, but I do like to go for a more authentic, realistic approach. And again, you can make the argument that Fog of War is realistic or isn't realistic, but since we started with it on, I'm going to leave it on, and we'll see what happens. But if down the line it seems like it's aggravating and leads me down the road of making only awful decisions, maybe at some point I'll turn it off. But yeah, I appreciate the comments. Please keep leaving them. I'd love to keep engaging with you guys as you engage with my content. That would be great. And I'm hoping this episode has a little more action than the previous episodes have for you. I want to talk a little bit through what exactly I'm going to do when it comes to trades and acquisitions with the Billy Beane money puck philosophy that we're going to do. I want to talk about hypothetical trades really quick. So what I'm imagining with trades is that particularly when it comes close to the trade deadline, I'm going to look at a couple of things. I'm going to look at who on our team is going to be either a UFA or an RFA that upcoming offseason. So if we look at our contracts, we actually have a lot of pending free agents. Nino Niederreiter, pending UFA. Mark Giordano, pending UFA. Matt Grzelcyk, pending UFA. Middlestat, Foodie, Joseph, Zadorov, Dodonov. Dodonov is not a pending UFA. Lazat, Aho. Lots of pending UFAs. Lots of them in that upper echelon of overalls for us as well. So what I'm thinking with trades, I'm going to keep my eye on those players, right? And see how they're performing when it comes to the trade deadline. And then I'll be comparing those players to other players at their position, looking at those players' stats and looking at those players' salaries, and also seeing, do those players have more years left on their contract, right? So let's say we're looking at Matt Grzelcyk, right? So Matt Grzelcyk, he has 6 points in 19 games. Let's imagine that we're at the trade deadline, or we're about to go into the trade deadline. So he has 6 points in 19 games played, right? And he is making $5.785 million a year, and he's a pending free agent. So who would I want to possibly replace Matt Grzelcyk on this team via a trade? So what I would look for is someone who is either of equal points production as Matt Grzelcyk, or someone who is of greater points production than Matt Grzelcyk and also making less money than Matt Grzelcyk, or at least has a efficiency score like the ones we calculated for the expansion draft. Someone who at least has an efficiency score that's higher than Matt Grzelcyk. Even if their salary is higher, I think it would take a lot of point production for someone to be making more than Matt Grzelcyk and their efficiency score be higher. But you never know. Like if someone like an Erik Karlsson, right, could totally do that. But we do the math, and if it works out, and also like if that player had at least another year left on their contract, that way if we acquired them via a trade, and then we would be able to know that's what we'd be paying them for their point production in the following season as well. So making sure that we wouldn't end up in a situation where we'd acquire them and then immediately probably have to give them a higher salary when we negotiate their contract renewal or contract extension that coming off season. He does fit the top line the best of the three. It's not a great fit. I'd say it's like 55% of that bar there. So it's a decent fit, but it's the best that Grzelcyk could play. The top pair is the best pair for Grzelcyk to play in on this team with this coaching strategy. But when we acquire someone else, in addition to that player's efficiency score being higher, and hopefully us paying less for them than Matt Grzelcyk, we'd also want to make sure that player could come in and play on our top pair. Or at the very least, if we brought that player in and they didn't fit on the top pair, that there are ways we could rearrange the defense so that the new player fits in and it doesn't necessarily harm the defensive chemistry so much. So again, what are we looking for in a potential replacement? A, someone who is producing at least as much as Grzelcyk, if not more. I'd probably want to try and get someone who has more points, or else I feel like the trade might not be worth making. So someone who's ideally producing more than Grzelcyk and also making less money than Grzelcyk, and has a contract that extends past the current season. And we'd have to do some deeper investigating to make sure that there isn't an extension signed where they would maybe be getting paid even more that following season. We'd have to do our due diligence with that. But like looking at Shane Gostisbehere, for example, he's making less than Matt Grzelcyk. He has one more point than Matt Grzelcyk does. So his efficiency score is technically higher, but he only has 1 year remaining on his deal, meaning he's a pending free agent at the end of this year. So if we wanted to keep Gostisbehere into the following season, we'd have to re-sign him, and he might ask for more than 3.7, or he might ask for more than maybe the 5.8 that Matt Grzelcyk is making. So we want someone who has more time left on their contract. Okay, so Erik Cernak has 8 years left on his deal and is making less than Matt Grzelcyk. And according to our scout, with 3 bars filled out of 4, he would fit all defense pairings, right? So if we trust our scouts, and if we saw at the trade deadline that Erik Cernak was making, was producing a lot more than Grzelcyk was, and maybe had a lot higher of a plus minus, and just seemed to be a better overall player in the sim engine that year, we might try to go for someone like Erik Cernak. Now, of course, Erik Cernak is a right defenseman. Grzelcyk is a left defenseman, so that wouldn't be his ideal replacement. Okay, yeah, so Olli Maatta has 2 years left on his deal, is only making $3 million a year. He's a left defenseman. He fits defense pairing 3, though. So, we'd have to look. If we brought Maatta in to be on defense pairing 3 and sent Grzelcyk out, would we be able to rearrange our defense so that wouldn't hurt the defensive chemistry? So that's my idea for how I'm going to do trades in this franchise mode, kind of applying that philosophy of not wanting to overpay for production, and if we're able to, paying even less for the same production or a higher amount of production if we're able to. So that's what I'm thinking for in terms of trades, just to like clue you guys in on what I'll be doing or what I'll be looking for once we get closer to the trade deadline. I think I am, especially given that we're in first place right now. Granted, the other teams have games in hand on us in our division. I would like to let the season ride out a little more, see if we can keep this together, keep this going. If not, then maybe I make some earlier acquisitions. But I think I'd want to let it ride till the trade deadline, see what's going on there, and then start thinking about possible trades and other kinds of acquisitions. But it'll be a thorough look at production, salary, contracts, extensions, even looking at our AHL players, to see, hey, is there someone in the AHL that we could possibly bring up, and not have to bring in any new salary, and maybe send somebody else out for a draft pick. Like, is there a defenseman waiting in the wings in the AHL who we could bring up to replace Grzelcyk, and then send Grzelcyk out to somebody else for a draft pick, something like that. So those are all things that I'll be looking for. But always, any move I make will be with the primary intention of making sure that this team ends up more economically efficient than it was before I made the trade, in terms of how much are we paying per point this player is producing, and do we have them locked in for at least one more year beyond the current year. Enough chit-chatting about strategies and trades and all that. Let's get into it. Let's do some more simming. So here we are. We're 20 games in. We're 12-7-1, going up against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are also first place in their division. Are we still first place in our division after that day? We are. We are 1 point ahead of the Vancouver Canucks, who have 2 games in hand on us, but that's okay. Still a lot of hockey left to play. We are on a tear right now. We're 8-2 in our last 10. Let's see if we can keep that up. And just a reminder of who's injured really quick, too, before we get into it. We have Matt Benning, I know for sure, is still going to be on this report. Yeah, Matt Benning is out with a separated shoulder. Big yikes there. He'll be out until the end of the year. Jesper Fast is out until December 6th. Casey Middlestat is out until November 24th. It is currently November 20th, so a few more days for Middlestat, a little longer on Fast, and then about another month or so on Matt Benning, which is, it's a big loss, but we're still making do. We're, like I said, 8-2 in our last 10, so we're doing our best here. And, let's get into it. So we are now visiting the Tampa Bay Lightning, who, again, are first place in their division. Let's see what we can do against Tampa. Oakland player Casey Middlestat is available to play in the team's next game. Heck yeah. Let's get Middlestat back into the lineup. We have Foodie in for Middlestat, and I think Zarnik is in for Fast. So let's bring Middlestat back in for Foodie, and then bring Middlestat back up to the second line. We won 5-2 in Tampa. That's huge. Okay. All right, let's keep it going. Visiting Montreal. How are we gonna do? A victory over the Montreal Canadiens. They are not a great team right now, so big win over Montreal, who we should have beaten, and we did. We're on a roll right now. We're still 8-2 in our last 10. Got 2 wins in a row. I think we're on a nice little winning streak right now, actually. How many in a row have we won here? Let's see. I think from the Chicago game on, we've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row. 7 in a row, 8 of our last 10. This is good stuff. So let's see here. Now our next game is against the LA Kings, a California rival. Do we wanna? Yeah, you know what? Let's dig into these California rivalries. Let's see what's going on. Let's do a full sim. So we're gonna get into this game. LA coming to the Oakland Arena to play the Oakland Athletics. Let's see what happens here. All right, getting a lot of shots. Power play for LA. Oh, they score on the power play. All right, so our PK's not looking great there. Goal for LA. Our winning streak might be coming to an end here. Only 2 goals on 4 shots. That's not great. Now let's get one, boys. Crank it up to 8x. Alright, down 2-0 at the end of 1. Let's get on the board, boys. Come on. Getting a lot of shots. Okay, Jonathan Taves, nice. Joseph. Matthew Joseph with a goal. It's 2-2. Ryan Lomberg with a goal. It's 3-2. Oakland at home. Keeping the winning streak alive, maybe. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it up. All right, big second period. Big second period with 3 goals. We got the lead. Let's see if we can hold it. Power play for Oakland. All right, Dadanov after the power play. It's 4-2. Power play for LA. Nice, we killed it. Another power play for LA. We kill it. 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 4. Looks like we're going to win. 2, 1. Empty netter for Matthew Joseph. Looks like his second goal of the game. A 5-2 victory over our California rivals, the LA Kings. Nice game for us. 5 goals on 39 shots. Loving the offense there. Let's take a look at our stats here. +3s for Matthew Joseph, Nino Niederreiter, and Jonathan Taves. Joseph and Niederreiter both had 3-point nights. 2 goals and an assist for Joseph. 3 assists for Niederreiter. Let's see how Logan Thompson did. .935 save percentage, 2 goals given up on 31 shots for Logan Thompson. Great game for Logan Thompson. That is awesome. Next game is against the Edmonton Oilers, who are 10-11-1. 10-12-1 now. We should win this game. Let's see. Ooh, we take a 3-1 loss to Edmonton. Edmonton takes our winning streak away from us. So, still 8-2 in our last 10, though. Still on a good run. Now we got Tampa coming to visit us. We beat Tampa last week. Let's see if we can do it again. Tampa 15-7-2. We are 15-8-1. Should be a pretty even matchup here. Lightning at 32 points. We are 31 points. Let's see if we can beat Tampa again. Let's see. Oakland player Mark Giordano has been injured with a sprained ankle. His estimated return is December 13th, 2023. Team's lines must be edited. I think that means... oh no, we can bring in Brad Hunt. I think Brad Hunt is still with our NHL squad, but he's scratched from what I remember. Let's see. Yeah, Brad Hunt is scratched, so we'll bring him into the lineup. Sub in all lines. Can we mess with the chemistry at all? No, let's leave it. Well, actually, we'll go by overalls. We'll put Hunt on the 3rd line, get Aho up to the 2nd pair. Okay. Took another loss to Tampa. Tampa hands us our 2nd loss in a row. All right, let's bounce back against Carolina here. It's now December 1st, and any player who received a qualifying offer, I don't think we have any RFAs in this situation, so I'm going to ignore this. All right, we bounce back against Carolina with a 6-3 victory. Very good. Heading into Minnesota next, a team that looks like we should beat them. Jesper Fast is available to play in the team's next game. Let's get Jesper Fast back in the lineup. So, who was in for Jesper Fast? Zarnik was in for Fast, I believe. So let's get... yeah. Let's get Fast back in for Zarnik. Alright. So, I think... Was Fast on our... I don't think Fast was on our 4th line. I think Fast was... No, Kessel was on our 4th line. That's how we have things. Well, let's see. Fast had 12 points in 20 games. Kessel had 15 points in 26 games. About the same. That's interesting. So maybe, should we keep Fast on the 4th line for now while he's healing? Who fits the 2nd line better? We got Fast there. He's like 70-75%. on that. They're about the same. Who fits the fourth line better? I think Foss fits the fourth line better. Maybe by a hair. Yeah, Foss fits the fourth line better. All right, let's get Foss on the fourth line. Might be a good spot for him while he's healing up too. So Middlestat's back in the lineup. He should heal up by this game, I would think, against Minnesota. Hopefully, should be fully healed now or close to it. Let's take down Minnesota. They are not a good-looking team right now. Jesper Foss is injured with a sprain. Oh, we brought him back in too soon. All right, 7 all lines. Zarnik is back in. How do we do against Minnesota? We lost against Minnesota. All right, so we're still in first place in the division, but you know, our hot streak is certainly cooling off. Let's see how we do against Toronto. Oh, I would have wanted to do a full sim of this game because Giordano would have been back in Toronto. That's okay. We got a 4-1 win against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's a big deal. Oh, I just realized I think Middlestat's out for a good chunk of the month. Was he coming back on December 26th? Is that what that said? Giordano's available. Oh, Giordano wouldn't have played against Toronto anyway. Okay, so let's bring Giordano back in for Hunt. Oh, Jonathan Taves is dealing with something too. That's not good. Hopefully it's minor. How's Hunt doing? Alright, let's get Gio back in. Get our alternate captain, the 40-year-old vet Giordano back in the lineup. Ooh, that third pair now has +2 chemistry. Oh, do I want to mess with that? Or we could get +2 on the second pair. I'd rather have +2 on the second pair. Okay. Alright. Well, that's cool. I don't think that... Was that there before? It might have been. I don't remember. Alright, so Gio's back in the lineup. Hopefully, we're not setting him up to get injured. 2 games in a row in 2 days. That's scary for Gio and Taves. Hopefully, neither of them get seriously hurt. Got a 5-2 win against the Sharks, who... Oh, I would have wanted to do a full sim of that game, too, because they are our California rivals. Too concerned with these injuries. All right. Let's do this game against Seattle. Shootout loss there. Okay, so we got a point. Let's see how we do. All right, the Canucks have been on our tail. They're in second place. They've been chasing us the whole way. We're going to do a full sim of that game when we get to it. Got to see how that goes down. And we're coming up against the 11-16-3 Pittsburgh Penguins, who are 6-4 in their last 10. Let's see how we do against Pittsburgh. Oakland player Jonathan Taves has been injured with a mild concussion. Oh, man. His estimated return is December 21st. Okay, that's not too long. We're going to have to call somebody up from the AHL. Yeah. Well, oh, yeah, because we could... Yeah, I guess even if we dress Foodie, we won't have enough. We won't have enough players to fill out the NHL roster. All right. So who are our AHL centers? All right. Yeah, I guess we're bringing Dakota Joshua up. That's cool. All right. So Joshua's coming up. Now we got to edit these lines. Your roster must be compliant to continue. Wait, who else is hurt? Tell me Giordano got hurt again, too. Benning's still out. Okay. Fost got hurt again? Wait, who? No. Taves is hurt. Please don't tell me it's one of our goalies. No! Logan Thompson's out. What the hell happened in these last 2 games? Oh, well, not in the last 2 games. In this game against Pittsburgh. Ugh. Alright, so... Oh, we gotta... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Alright, we gotta call up Calvin Pickard now. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. Well... Let's see, who's doing better? Picard had 1 appearance in the NHL, and he did very well. How are his AHL stats? He's a 902, 270 in 10 AHL games. Johansson, though, I feel like Johansson's also earned a chance. Let's see. Although, Picard has a little higher potential, though. Fringe starter as opposed to backup, so that tells me maybe Picard's the better choice to bring up. Yeah, let's call it Picard. Alright. Oh, so we got some major line editing to do. Alright, so we gotta bring, let's see. We have Liam Foodie and we have Dakota Joshua. Let's bring Foodie into the lineup for Taves, right? And let's see if we can mess with the lines a little bit to get, because I don't know if I want Foodie on the top line. Let's see if we can get better chemistry anywhere, though. What's that? That's 2-1-1. Okay, I'd rather have Lazat on the top line than Foodie. Or we could have Dowd on the top line and Foodie on the fourth. I like that. Let's do that. Okay. And then goalies. We gotta bring in Picard. Alright. Okay. Alright, you know what? I don't mind having Picard in. Picard. I hear his last name pronounced different ways. Alright. This is fine. Now we gotta fix the AHL situation too. Alright, so we gotta dress Hauser. And we have to dress another center for Joshua. So both teams losing their top line centers. So True is coming back into the lineup. Chemistry 1-2-1. Okay, I'd rather have Stevens on the top line. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So put Stevens on the top line, True back on the third line. Alright. So everything's squared away for now. Right. Okay. Okay. Alright. We'll deal with it. Alright. Hey, we got the overtime win against the Pittsburgh Penguins, so we got the 2 points there. Alright. But now it's time to deal with these Vancouver Canucks, who have been on our tail. Oh, now we have the same amount of games played as Vancouver. But they are 3 points behind us now. I still want to sim this game. I want to do a full sim of this game. Let's deal with these pesky Vancouver Canucks. Show them why we are the division leaders, and always will be. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Let's see. Alright, so we are in Vancouver. Let's see how we do here. No Taves, no Thompson. Let's see what happens here. Isamont just got injured in the AHL game. That's awesome. Scoreless first so far. Oop. Pedersen on Sandstrom. Ugh, okay. Alright. Well, almost had a shutout period. We'll get it back. We'll get it back. Kill the Vancouver power play. Had a power play of our own, couldn't convert. Come on, boys, let's get one. Power play for Vancouver. Killed it. Let's get on the board, boys. Okay. Alright. Still 1-0 game. Tight game. Let's see if we can get one. Come on, let's make a game out of this. Niederreiter on Thatcher Demko. Yes, tied at 1. Atta boy, Nino. Alright, let's see. Can we get another one? This is going into overtime, maybe? Ooh, last minute of the game. Alright, we're going into OT. We got a point. We got a point with our broken lineup here. We got a point. Alright, here we go. We're in overtime. Who's gonna pull through? Okay, so no one scored in OT. Are they gonna simulate a shootout? What happened? Oh, Vancouver wins the shootout. Well, Middlestat tried. Middlestat got one. Alright, a 2-1 shootout loss. That's not bad. We get a point. Vancouver gets 2, so we're still 2 points ahead of them. Still in first place in the division. I'll take it. Las Vegas player Michael Easemont has been injured with injured shoulder. Estimated return is December 23rd. That's really soon, isn't it? I think that's like 1 or 2 days away. Alright, so we lost a center. I don't think we have any more centers scratched in the AHL. Do we have a winger who can also play center who's scratched? Weissbach. Oh wait, we got a couple of left wingers there, I think. Weissbach and McCormick. He's a pure left winger. And McCormick's a pure left winger. Any right wingers who play center? No. Okay, so who's better on face-offs? Weissbach. Why is it doing this? Weissbach, 65 on face-offs, just in case we have to play them at center. McCormick is 64. All right, so we're gonna bring in Weissbach. Substitute in all lines. Now, is anyone? Okay, Jones is a winger. Oh, O'Regan can play center. Okay, what are his face-offs like? Wait, hang on. How do you look at? I guess you can't look at player info? Alright, well, I'm assuming O'Regan's face-off stats are better than Weissbach's. So we'll put O'Regan at center for now. Okay. Can we do anything with the chemistry here? We cannot. Okay. Actually, yeah, let's put O'Regan on the 4th for now. Alright, looks like Graham Clark's overall got bumped up a couple of numbers too. That's good to see. Alright. Okay, good stuff. No NHL injuries to deal with. Alright. Oh no, still like a week before Easemont comes back. Alright. Alright. So big big point. I was gonna say big win. Big point against the Vancouver Canucks. And then our next game, Jesper Fast, available to play in the team's next game. Do we bring him back in and risk him getting hurt? So Fast would come in for Zarnik and be on that 4th line. Alright, let's do it. Okay. Alright, now we got the Washington Capitals coming to visit. Let's see how we do. Oakland player Travis Hamonic has been injured with back spasms. His estimated return is January 1st. Alright, now we gotta bring in Brad Hunt for Travis Hamonic. Yikes. Unless there's... Is there a right defenseman we could, Because we have Hunt scratched. Hunt's overall. Hunt's at a 79. Do we have a right defenseman in AHL that we could call up? Options? Roster moves. Yeah, here we go. We have a right defenseman we could call up instead of putting Hunt in. That would be cool. Let's see. Defenseman. Oh, hell yeah. Let's bring up Josh Brown. Send Hunt back down. Oh, we can make multiple moves at once, right? Okay, multi-select. We're calling up Brown. And we're sending Hunt back down. Oh, I didn't select him. Hunt and Josh Brown. Okay. Hunt is waiver eligible, so he might get claimed. I don't think he will. Let's see what happens. Okay. Alright, cool. So let's go back to edit lines. Let's get... sorry about the morale, boys, but I had to make a decision. Alright, let's get Josh Brown in here. Alright, can I mess with the chemistry at all? No. No. Okay, we're gonna leave that right as it is. Okay, Josh Brown back in the NHL. Love it. Took a 5-4 loss to the Capitals. Alright. Now, I think Michael Easemont's available to play in the team's next game. Let's get him back in the lineup. Who do we bring in? We brought in Weissbach for Easemont. So we'll redress Easemont. Bring him there. O'Regan back at... Oh no, O'Regan was on the wing. We had Easemont on the second line. Let's leave it like that. Alright, now I believe last time I looked at the standings, the New Jersey Devils were in first place in the NHL. And we play them next, so I would like to do a full sim of that game. I think it would be fun on the road too. Big challenge. Oh no, the Senators have 48 points. Wow. The Senators are killing it in this franchise mode. That's surprising. No, the Devils have fallen. So the Senators, we got to watch out for when we play the Senators because they are first place in the league by a long shot. Alright, so we got this game against New Jersey. In New Jersey. Let's see what we can do. Jonathan Toews is available to play in the next game. Very good. So we brought in... Alright, so we're going to bring Toews in for Foodie. And then we're going to bring Toews up to the top line. Like that. Okay. Perfect. Toews on the top line healing from injury, though. That's a little scary. Alright, 4-3 loss to New Jersey. Graham Clark injured with a wrist sprain. Darn. Alright. Who are we subbing in for Graham Clark? Scratched. Bring in Weissbach. I think Dewar can play the right wing too. Oh no, he can't. Okay. Any left wingers that can play the right wing in our lineup? Sakura could, but I don't want to take him off the top line. All right. Yeah, that's Kessel. All right. So I think Joshua. Oh no, we can bring in Austin Zarnik. Okay. Substitute all lines. Want to mess with this at all? Yeah, let's get Foss on the second line. Zarnik on the fourth. All right. Yeah, Kessel's hurt with a concussion. A couple of concussions here. All right. So I'll just go to edit lines and then back out of it because I already edited the lines as I needed to. All right. So we're all good here. Lost to Calgary. Oof. Okay. All right. So let's have this game against Seattle here. We should be able to beat them. All right, we beat Seattle 3-2. All right. Phil Kessel's available to play in the next game. Excellent. Thank you for your service, Austin Zarnik. Actually, how's Foss doing? Maybe let's leave Kessel on the 4th line while he's healing up. 15 points in 25 games. 24 points in 35 games. Kessel, man, Kessel's actually doing really well. We got a few days off here. We can let's put Kessel back on the 2nd line. Actually, I like that. I think Foss fits better on the 4th line. We said that earlier, right? All right, so Kessel's back on the 2nd line. We got a few days for everybody to rest up. Matt Benning should be getting back into the lineup here. Matt Benning has returned to the lineup. He will now begin to count against your roster and salary cap. All right, so we gotta send somebody down. I'm guessing Josh Brown, unless he Hamonic is still out. Yeah, so we gotta. Well, hang on. Who's in our lineup? Gio, Grizzlick, and Zadorov are on. No, it's Gio, Grizzlick, and Joseph on the left. Then Zadorov, Brown. There was Hamonic on the right. Alright, well, Benning's back in the lineup. So let's. Yeah, I guess we send Josh Brown down. Hopefully Brown doesn't get claimed on waivers. Okay, cool. Alright, so now we gotta edit our lines. Matt Benning is back. He's been out for a long time. How many games did Benning get to play before he got hurt? I think it was only a few. Yeah, Benning only got to play 4 games before he went down. Welcome back, Matt Benning. Good to have you back. Alright, we gotta fix that chemistry. Alright, Benning on the top line? Nope. Benning on the 3rd. Uh-oh. Alright, let's see. Alright, I don't love this. Alright. If the -1 is gonna be anywhere, I'd rather have it on the 3rd pair, but maybe we can fix it. Okay, that fixes it, but then Aho is on the wrong side. But we can deal with that. Can we improve the chemistry in any other way? No. Grizzlick on the 2nd pair? No. Man, our defensive chemistry is really not great. Alright, well, at least this way we're neutral. Alright. Well, is what it is. Alright, big game against Chicago here. I'm going to want to do a full sim of this game, though. See how Taves does against his old team. Alright everyone, that's going to do it for this video. We'll pick up with that Chicago game in the next video. That Logan Thompson injury hasn't quite made its presence known yet, but it will in the next video. So if you want to see what happens there, please check out the next one that's coming up. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Really hoping that y'all are enjoying this so far, and that I can keep producing videos that y'all enjoy and get some more people on board with this too. And yeah, thanks for sticking around through this, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.